Hello, hello. If anybody is around this Sunday morning, a Saturday morning, wow. Yeah, don't work 20 days in a row, basically, because you lose track of what day it is. But it is a lovely day in southern Wisconsin, and hopefully everybody out there is having a good day too. So let's get into day one. I think I watched Sabrina's live last night talking about the Scrappy Tail Crafts Advent, and I think the reason we hear all these dies banging around when you move this is that some of the uh, days have shifted outside of their door. So let us open up day number one. And if we're lucky, it will be in here. If it's not, I think we can get at the well, it's partially here. So we have, yeah, everything. I think we have, oh no, I think there's another one in here. Yep. So I think we have everything except the circle. So there is a tray in here. So what I think we can do is open up the, and what it seems that's happening is because this isn't glued, these pieces aren't glued down, right? Like, so you can get underneath here. So what's happening is like during shipping, things are banging around. Anyway, so we have 3 of our 4 dies, which is cool. Let's see if we can find the 4th one. So this first day is the 2-inch ball, which I'll find in a second. And it comes with this greenery piece. So you have this tab where you can kind of glue this inside of the finished ball. But I think we're going to have to flip this over and try not to wreck the camera and see if we can't open the bottom seam here, because it looked like we could probably get at this, and see if we can't pull out the drawer and figure out what's up. We may wreck the calendar in the process, but hey, we were probably going to do that anyway. Yeah, it's adhesive pretty good. This is going to be not the most pretty of things, but we will survive. Oops. But I think what we can do is just sort of, you could probably also use a heat tool on this if you're having this problem. I think it was just sort of their first year doing it. And yeah, we're going to wreck this, but that's all right. We will only have to do it once. There we go. Alrighty. And this is upside down, so let's flip it and see if we can't find the die we need. Here's the die we need. So, and it looks like, okay, that goes there. That goes in day 6. Anyway, we will put this back, I think, because we have the dies we need for today. And I'll just leave this right side up, and then I'll watch Sabrina's content to kind of figure out what we're doing and then go from there. Anyway, so we have, this is a greenery piece. This also kind of looks like a candle, but hey Sherry, how are you? And then we have little berry sprigs that you can kind of put on top and do whatever you want with these. But basically, this is sort of a piece that goes along the bottom. You have some pine cones and all that. And I'm not sure if we're going to use that. We'll see. But the main piece here is this circle that has a score line down the middle. If you can see that. So this is a cut line. This is a score line. So this is going to make all the little pieces of our ornaments. This is also just a 2-inch circle. So, well, it's a little more than a 2-inch circle. More like a 2.5-inch circle. So if you have a circle that doesn't have a score line, you could certainly do this with that. The paper that Sabrina suggested was any 24-pound paper. And I remembered I had this Recollections cream, and I thought it would be neat to do sort of a white on white kind of thing. This is the first year they've done an advent calendar. You may have come in while I was ripping it apart. There was basically all the dies are like in a little drawer. There's a plastic drawer inside of there, but because shipping is shipping, things bounced around, so we had to go fishing for our dies. So in theory, I should be able to cut 5 of these at once, but I need to grab a paper cutter. But we'll see. We'll see how many of these we can cut at once. We need a bunch, essentially. And I don't know if you were around for the unboxing, but basically what this so the calendar itself contains 48 dies. There's nothing other than dies in there. So I think we'll be able to get a couple. Yeah, we'll get several of these. So it comes with 48 dies across 12 days. 10 of the days make ornaments. 2 of the days are sort of bonus things. And I'm going to go see if I can die cut this. So this is 5. We'll see if this works. We need somewhere between 25 to 30 layers, basically. But that should go pretty fast if we can cut 5 at a time. So let me do a quick test here. Well, that cranked through super easily, so I'm optimistic. If this actually cut through. If not, we'll see how many layers it cut through. It cut through all 5, which is fantastic. Then here's the score line. I'm just going to find my bone folder. I'm just going to reinforce the score line quick while I know where it is. It's hard to see with this paper. Anyway, so now we have 5 little tacos, and I'm going to cut, let's see, I guess, run this through 4 more times to get the rest of the layers we need. And I think we can get this all out of, like not quite half a sheet. I'm using a manual machine, so we will see. You do get sort of the not pretty side of this, but what we're going to do, let me just undo this for a second, and that would be helpful, wouldn't it, to explain what on earth are we doing? Well, I guess I did 4 layers, so we need a little more than what I said. But we're going to basically attach these together like this, and it's going to make a cute little honeycomb ornament. So we have 4. Anyway, let me do math in my head. So 4 times 4 would be 16. Now we have 8. Let's see how many we can get out of this. And let me just see how many we can get out of a single half sheet, and then we'll work with that. But the fact that you can do a bunch of sheets at once is pretty nice. And if you have like the paper that was suggested originally for this was Astro Bright, which I can get at my Office Max locally. I bet you could. I think you could get almost anything. I mean, you can get it from Amazon too. So, well, else we know where the score lines are. I think we get 5 out of this, so that will be 20 layers. So that'll probably be 5. Yeah, I think we can get 2 more. So I think we can get about 20 layers, and we can see what that looks like, and then cut more if we have to. But I do like that, like I could do if I wasn't talking to y'all, like you could do this pretty quickly. Yeah, the nice thing, well, I'll show you when I get back. So locally, I can buy like a rainbow pack of Astro Bright, and I think I can buy like I don't know if I get. I don't know if I should see if I can buy the colors locally. I am not sure, but Scrappy Tails made sort of a multi-pack of a bunch of colors, which was cool because I think some of the colors are not findable unless you buy like a whole ream of it. Which, I mean, if you're making a bunch of these ornaments, you're probably going to go through a lot of paper pretty fast. The nice thing is this Michaels. Woo! I almost spilled my coffee all over the thing. But like this is 120 sheets, so like I'm sure Astro Bright is selling it in pretty big packs. So I mean, if you wanted to make a bunch of these, it would be easy. There we go. So as expected, the dye works really well. And now we just have to glue all of our tacos together. There's a bunch of different gluing patterns you can use. I think I'm going to use one that I saw on Mommy Lala's channel last Christmas, which is basically to just glue lines at the bottom. Let me grab, well, we can, here's an envelope I messed up. So basically, if I need to color something, do I have a colored pen? It would be nice if I did. Or not. I have black, which is not quite a color. Colored pencils are colored, though. So, just to sort of talk through for a second, let me grab colors that look different from each other. So once you fold these in half, you're going to get sort of a taco. And generally, to make a honeycomb, what you're going to want to do is sort of start somewhere and do sort of lines so that you have a pattern. So here, like if you use the blue lines to glue them shut, then you use the pink lines to glue them together. So you have an alternating pattern. You can also alternate colors, which I didn't do today. And if you use lines, it will keep it less fluffy. It'll hold the layers together more. So the other thing you could do, like if we use the same pattern, you could just do dots. And this would allow the paper to open up a little bit more. So if you did that. But the one I want to try today that I haven't seen yet is basically just do a line on one side to glue it together and then do a line on the other side to glue the pieces together. Well, like do the pink line to glue the tacos together and the blue line to glue the pieces together. And I think that'll make a really fluffy ornament. So we will see. There are a whole bunch of videos online on how to make these too. So there are, if you're looking for inspiration, I think there will be quite a bit. And my thought is once I have this together, I kind of want to spray it some fun color. Because I have some fun metallic stuff. But I don't know. I may just sort of dry brush on some metallic lunar paste. I don't know. We'll see. Let's first try to get an ornament together before we worry about that. And oh, folks are here. Hey, Delise, how are you? I thought of you. I'm playing with tacos. Hello, KY Philly. Good to see you as well. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Oh, I do hope you feel better, Sherry. Hey, Delise, how are you? I am. So we opened day one of my Advent calendar, and we got the small circle die that basically cuts around the edge and puts a score line in the middle, And then we got a greenery piece and some berries. I don't know if I'll use this. We'll see. I might use a bead instead. But I'm going to glue my tacos together. They're not actually tacos, but basically I just want to put like a little line of glue sort of at the bottom. And then I'm going to hold it together with this thin paper. You don't really need to clip these because they're basically going to glue instantaneously because the paper is so porous. If you're working with like a thicker weight paper, this is 24 pounds, so this is almost like copy paper weight. You may want to clip them. I'll show you the two options of clips that Sabrina, who made the calendar, suggested. So if I was working with a thicker paper, I would probably use one of these things to clip it together. These are, it doesn't say how much these were, but I think these were like $2 from Michael's. Or if you have those, like these are basically just those like mini clothespins that people use to do those like stringed photo scrapbook pages. So Delise, you probably have something like this in your stash already. And then these are the dollar store, or I guess I should say the $1.25 store. The Crafter Square, these little binder clips are nice because the tips are rubber coated, so they're not going to leave weird lines. Although for something like this ornament that you're going to glue together, it isn't really going to be a big deal one way or the other. But the nice thing about the this lightweight paper is basically you don't have to clip it, but I do want to keep them kind of on the same orientation. So when I glue these together, I know what side is closed. Although with this particular pattern, I think it will be pretty easy to tell because you basically have a taco that's open on one side and not open on the other side. A semicircle technically, but I think they're tacos. Hey Rhonda, how are you? Hello Mary, how are you? I am gluing together a whole bunch of semicircles. I did open day 1 of the calendar, but some of the dies shifted in shipping. So I wound up, oh, that didn't glue together very well. Oh, that's because I had 2. Well, that. All right. It'd help if you don't have 2 layers of paper and then wonder why the outer layer didn't glue together. What other tips should I give you on these that I heard on Sabrina's live? You don't want to glue right at the tip or sort of the edge right here. You want to probably go about a 1/4 inch in. And it really doesn't matter what pattern you use as long as you're fairly consistent. Because obviously you're not going to really notice a specific piece here once this is together. And the neat thing about this calendar is it purports to make 20 different ornaments. I will say you have 12 days and 10 of them are ornaments. And each ornament day potentially can make a bunch of different ornaments. This particular day with this greenery piece, like, I mean, really you don't need this die to do it, but you could just make a ball that is a circle and then take the greenery piece and put it behind it and do like a Christmas decoration. Like if you cut this out of like glitter cardstock or something fancy, which we might do that. We might make a symbol card out of this too, just to sort of prove that no, you don't have to necessarily do this complicated stuff. Although these are not that complicated, honestly, and because I am basically just going to do the same thing 25 times. And let me catch up on the chat because that is that. Hello, Rhonda. Hopefully you are all having a good fall. Or I guess I don't know where everybody's from. If anyone's in the southern hemisphere, I guess it's not quite fall there, but more summer. But but as you can see, like on Sabrina's live, her mother glued about 50 of these together in not very much time. She had mentioned that one way you can do this is you can lay out a couple, like this and so, and then basically you can just go in and put your glue line, put your glue line, put your glue line badly. That one was not great, but then put your glue, and then like because you're working with multiples, it'll allow the glue to actually dry out a little bit, so that when you come and stick this together, it will stick. Although this is Lanco PVA, and I have never really had any issues with it sticking. It is also the glue that Karen Berniston has suggested for working with pop-ups, because basically it grips in like 10 seconds, although I think Barely Arts is a very similar type of glue. Although, oddly, I have a bunch of Barely Arts, and I've never used it, because I've been such a Lanco fan for a long time. Although that is a lot faster, I will say, if you just lay out a bunch when you're doing the same thing. Actually, we're almost done with this step. Maybe not. Whoop, there we go. We can sort out all of our tacos. And I have seen people also use a glue stick on this if you're more of that kind of a thing, if that is more your jam. Because Craft Bond is certainly a very awesome glue as well. But yeah, I think, and this is kind of a type of crafting I really like, where it's just chill because you're basically doing the same step over and over again. It's kind of the reason I like sheet loads too, where it's just it's sort of a calm sort of crafting. Uh, and generally you'll want to work with the thing that's had the longest time to dry first. You probably didn't even need to tell you that. Yeah, I don't know. I forget. I forget who on one of the Scrabby Tales people called them tacos at one point, and I can't see them as anything else. Ooh, how are you making? What kind of wings are you making? Are you doing like hot wings or like teriyaki ones? Or I'm trying to think. There's all sorts of wings. We do. It is chilly. It was like 30 this morning, I think, which like honestly isn't all that chilly. I have gotten so much goo on my pokey tool. Let me try and clean this off in case I actually need it. I'm sure I have goo gone somewhere that is not immediately near me. There we go. That's pretty good. If I decide to bling something up, I just would prefer if it was not super sticky. Okay, so these are the ones that have dried the longest. We can just test. You can see what's going to happen when these pullers are going to open up at the top. So we're going to glue them at the top so that you'll have essentially a pattern where you'll have a pattern kind of like this, where like the top is open and and then the bottom is open, if that makes sense. And then once you get these all stacked, we can figure out what exactly we want to do. Oh, I didn't show you the cute twine I got. I was in the Hobby Lobby and picked up some of this. So basically what we can do is put twine down the center of this thing, because as we stack these, you're going to actually get like a hollow point in the center. But the only way we can really screw this up is by putting the other glue on the wrong side. So I am going to repeat. And it is pretty easy to see where these were glued because the paper warps a little bit. So I am just going to get some of these out. And I'm not putting glue on the bottom side because I'm just going to stack these. So now all we really need to do is stack these together. And I just got glue on my hand. Go me. Don't do what I do. Do what I suggested. And then we'll just stack these, and then we'll put a non-glued one on top. And we can either clip these or not. We will see. And then we'll grab the one that's not glued. And this gives us about 5 of these that are all together. I'm just pressing on this side is not glued, so I'm pressing on the glued side. And if you get a little extra glue, you can wipe it off. The PVA is going to basically dry matte, so that is working in our favor. And my thought is, like with these cream ones, you could really easily bling them up. Anyway, so as you can see, what's going to happen is you're going to get a honeycomb that looks kind of like that. And with the thin paper, you don't necessarily even need to clip this, because you could just reach over here and grab something heavy like a acrylic block and just hold it down. You do want to let this dry before you start to try to put the whole ornament together, but I think we are good with this. Oops. Figure out which side. Just have to figure. Woo! You don't need to drop it on the floor. You could also, of course, use these as like a pop-up or interactive element in a card, just like by gluing this to one side and this to the other and glued on the inside. And then when you opened it up, you'd have like a little Christmas ball. That would be kind of a cool look to do too. Okay, so this is open on this side. Yeah, so this is, we'll put it this way so that our gluing can continue, hopefully. I'm just going to do like about 5 of these at a time to make sure I know where my open side is. There we go. These are just really easy. Okay, so I'm going to take the one that's not glued and put it on top of the one that is glued after last time's oopsie. And then we're just going to stack. And stack. Just sort of make sure this is lined up. You will get a little time to work with this glue, but not much. So just, I like to make sure we're mostly together. Again, I'm not sure how much this really matters on the final product, only insofar as I'm just going to put that glue line, put this on here, and then get these together. And we'll put our block on here for a second just to make sure everything is together. Really, the only way to screw these up that I've seen is if you start trying to mess with it before the glue dries, because then the layers will pull apart and then you'll have to reglue it. Anyway, so this is 10 layers basically. And then, so like, this is, ooh, I like this. So this is about half of our ornament. So I think our numbers are pretty good. You can see how. And the fewer layers you use, like, so if we stopped at like, say, 15 layers, you're going to see the inside a lot more. I do have some really lightweight paper from Hobby Lobby I'm interested to try. It's only colored on one side, though, so it'll be interesting to see how it looks. Oh, hey, Mommy God. I was just talking about you. It is the one from Vlogmas. Except Scrappy Tails released a die that makes it even easier because it puts the score line down the middle. So for those of us who are a little challenged, it's pretty cool for that. But yes, we are doing the exact same thing. I don't know if I'm a fast or a slow crafter, though. That came up as a topic of discussion in Sabrina's live yesterday. I feel like I'm fast at some things and slow at others, so I don't know. And keeping these on the same orientation will also kind of allow you to not forget what way you're going. But I don't think if you like, even if you like glued these the wrong way, I don't think like anyone would tell once the ornament itself was together, unless it was in a really obvious place. There we go. We have another set together. But I don't know. You'll have to give us tips, Lala, because there was some. I don't know what the best way to actually string these is, because I think you could basically just make a loop and then tie it off, and then you could either glue that into the center or you could use beads as well. Almost our whole ornament is together now. And like we've only been live half an hour, which is surprising considering we opened this and had to die cut everything. So these actually could go together pretty fast. Anyway, there is that, and then we just have we only have two more. Oops. We shall see. But yeah, so I haven't seen you in a while, Lala. So I'm doing a sort of 12 days of crafting thing with this advent calendar, because I made an advent calendar for actual advent into actual December, but I really wanted to make some ornaments for my craft fair that I do with my mom for our local food bank here. Now, this is the point at which you could clamp these if you wanted to. With a circle, it's pretty easy. And I'm just going to press down nice and hard to make sure all the glue is squished out. Oh, and those of you, I don't know if folks have been following the issues with my dad, but he is doing much better. You'll basically want a clip to clip these when they're done. Basically, let me just grab the. So when we're done, we're going to just do that, and then we're going to fluff out the ornament, and you get this really pretty look. I really am liking this. This is 25 layers. If you go more like 30, you're going to have more narrow spaces. It depends if you want to see into the inside here. And I really was thinking about shimmer spraying this, but I actually really like this in cream. I think this will look really pretty, especially with like some nice twine. Anyway, so that is that. And this is actually probably not going to take forever. So we probably can do 2 cards. Hooray. I am always a fan of doing multiples. So let's find out. Answer the question of where did I put the twine I showed you 5 minutes ago? Because, of course, it's right here. I think this would look really nice with the silver twine. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Hey, Gloria, how are you? Welcome. I'm actually doing really well on time. I'm shocked. I thought this would be, but look at this. It's this really cool, like metallic silver. It's like white with a metallic wrap. So I think this would look very festive as like the ornament loop. Although what I'm thinking is if I get it the right length, I could basically put a bead on it and knot it, but then sort of glue the knot on the inside and put the bead on the bottom. We'll see if that works or not. Ooh, Oreos sound good. I am a fan of Oreos. I like all the cool flavors they're doing. How much twine do we need? We probably need like twice that, maybe, and a little extra because I'm a little paranoid about such things. And oops, there we go. That's probably all right. Yeah, the silver part kind of unravels, which is a little unfortunate. Although we can basically like glue all this stuff. I will rewrap this a little bit, but I think we will hide the oopsie on the inside. And we might want to shorten this a little bit because that would be a lot of loop. But my thought is we can find a bead to sort of decorate it a little bit. But these were on sale at Michael's, so now we have all the metallic colors. Although I didn't realize that this had more than one metallic color, so I also bought gold. I also have, actually, I have some wood ones. Let me grab those because wood might be nice here. I can't decide. I got some wooden ones. I think silver because there's silver on this, but I think this would be really neat too. Although I don't know how hard it's going to be to get something through these holes. If it doesn't work very well, I will just cut this a little bit. I'll just put the knot a little. I'll just make this shorter and put a knot like here, and then glue this on the inside somehow. If I can't figure out how to get the twine through the beads. I'm sure there's like actually a tool. One of my friends makes jewelry, so I should really ask him. I'm sure there's like a stringing tool that's something like a needle, only for this kind of stuff. Let me see if I can open this. These little ones are like way too small, but that's okay. Maybe we can. I do like the, I don't know if they're copper or rose gold, but these on the end are pretty fun. These are very staticky and stick everywhere. I don't know if there's a hole on this. The hole on this is really tiny. Okay, the hole on that is way too tiny. I think I would actually need a needle of some sort or a bead stringer or whatever that tool is called. So let's do the other idea I had. Wow, these are really staticky. Ha! Okay. I think I need a dryer sheet. Or I just need to get these out of the... I wonder if they're just staticky enough to just sort of hold themselves. I wonder if I can just get these out of the way of that and do... Nope, that didn't work very well. Eventually we'll figure it out. Huh. I am amazed how staticky these plastic beads are. Who knew that was even a thing? There we go. Okay. There are a couple on my desk, but let me try my second idea. You have beading needles. Okay. I'm assuming that's a thing I can find at a craft store, so I'm going to have to look for that later. But what I'm going to do is to solve a couple problems. I'm just going to tie this in a loop, and then we'll just glue this on the inside. And I want it relatively... So I'm just going to glue this like this, and then cut off some of this excess because I don't need it. I'm just going to put a lot of glue on that. Once we figure out which side is up, I'm just going to put a lot of glue down the middle of this. And so this is, where are we? Yeah, so this is the open side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I think I can just put some glue down the middle, and then, so first I'll put some glue on the side because this is how we're going to close it. But I'm just going to put a good amount of glue down the middle here and hope that this, I'm going to just put that sort of in the center of the ornament so that hopefully it doesn't mangle it too much. And then we're going to make sure that's in the middle. And just, this is where my glue is. So I'm just going to hold this for about a minute. This would also be a place where, had I opened clips and had them handy, you could just sort of clip this because I think that will be just fine. Just going to make sure none of our layers are too. There we go. You just can sort of fluff this out to make sure your layers are even. Yeah, because here we have a layer. And these are sort of normalized over time. That makes sense. So we have I'm not going to pick this up by that, but that's sort of, this is, oh, I see. And then yep. Let me just hold this here. That's where the knot is. So I want to make sure that is going to take a minute to dry. So I'm going to just leave that off to the side and see what else we can do with this. Thinking maybe a red and a green, and then like we just need to get a circle that's of a similar size and die cut that, and we can do like just a quick front panel for a card. Let me put my glue away and let's see if we can't make a card. I'm sure I have a card base handy somewhere. Yeah, I will look up beading needles. I think that would be very, very handy to have. And then basically you can spray these. You can spray these with like a shimmer spray if you want. Let me just put a little glue at the bottom here. This is just sort of opening up a little bit because of that knot. Let's just hold that together for about a minute and it should stick itself back together. But since we're doing pretty well on time, and you could, as you can see, you don't quite get the circular at the bottom because of how this glue pattern worked. But if you did have glue at the bottom, you would have that same look. But I actually really like this. It looks very rustic to me, which I think is kind of cool. Anyway, let's make a card. And if you didn't love how this opens up at the bottom, because you can't actually see through some of these, I think that's probably because of how big the knot I made was. I think if you used less twine, this would have if you just used a single piece of twine, I think this would have been less of a problem. But we can actually, let's try out one of these clips, because one of the things that potentially is really nice about these is they can get, well, that's a desiccant. That won't help us. But these can get into skinnier areas. So if we want to basically put like a drop of glue here and then clip this, what I want to do is, I don't want this to open up. So I'm going to put glue right at the back. And basically, I just want to take my clip. You can take these clips, and because of their orientation, right, you can get like right into wherever you want to go. So they have a very fine tip, which can be kind of handy for something like this, especially since this ornament's pretty small. But I could see this being a cute ornament, especially if you did sort of like more of a craft in white kind of holiday, which is not my vibe at all. But if it's your vibe, that is fantastic. The other thing you can do is make this longer and just put the knot at the bottom too. And that will sort of prevent that problem that I just created. But that is that. Let me see what I'm missing. Yep, you're right, Lala. If you just string through it, then the knot would be at the under the bead, right? And then it will not have the issue that I caused where it sort of opens this up because the knot is bigger than the hole in the center. But I don't know. This worked out pretty well, all things considered. Let me grab. I want to try this piece out though. So let's see what we can't grab quickly. Ooh, this is nice. So this is sort of a nice sandy brown. I think will look really nice. Actually, kind of similar to my cream. And I think this piece will be about the right size. So I need some green, some red, and I think I'll swap this out for one without the line quick. Yeah, that's about the same size. And I think this would be fun for our ornament. Let me just cut a little bit here. I might have. Here's hoping I have a decent green and red. That is more of a spooky green. That is. Ooh, this would be nice. We do our greenery out of greenery, which I think will save us some time. And maybe I'll do the berries out of. I think I found some gold somewhere in my scrap bin. Uh-oh. It sounds like a craft avalanche happening, but it was probably just a cat. Okay, I just saw that a few minutes ago. Ah, here it is. Some Mira gold. There's that. I think we can cut all this stuff with one pass, ideally. Oh, yeah. I know I have more uh, oil paper somewhere. I guess the key is somewhere, not close at hand. I think we can just make a. Well, we may need to reconfigure our dies a little bit, but I think we can get this all through at once. And one of the things that's kind of cool about this calendar is it was kind of designed to do flat cards too, so we will test out how well that works. But I know I have silver mirror somewhere. I'm kind of vexed as to where. Anyway, a problem for not during the live stream, but there is that. Where that gold berries don't actually exist as a thing, but it seems to make sense from a Christmas standpoint, at least in my brain. The neat thing about this is you can basically grab this tab. That makes this a lot easier to manipulate. Ooh, I like that. That's going to be fun. Get rid of our scraps because I don't think we'll need them ever again. There we go. But you need to research those needles. Yeah, because I think technically these are pine cones, but I think what we can do is sort of hide these tabs behind the ornament, and then we can pop this up a little bit, and then we'll have sort of some gold berries. Oh, I like that. Or we could cut. I mean, we could also just put them like that too. Yeah, something like that. I think will work. Let me grab another pokey tool to hopefully not get glue on the pretty foil because I'm pretty good at that. Hey, Linda, how are you? For table and electricity. But I don't know. Oh, maybe all my mirror stuff is with my Christmas things. I mean, that would make sense, which probably means I didn't do it that way. Although it's hard because a lot of where things are actually make sense post destash because things are like actually organized in some semblance of a sane way. Let's just wipe that off. Put a little glue on the bottom of this greenery. I'm just gonna put this in the center, I think, because I kind of like that. I don't know that I'm gonna even put a sentiment on this because I just kind of like this as sort of a simple holiday card. Oh goodness, really? Got one drop of glue on my foil somehow. Twice. There we go. The nice thing about this Michael's foil, though, is it is pretty easy to get stuff off of. Since I'm pretty good at putting marks on things, I think I will bump this up a little to give it a little more dimension. And we could stamp something here, so I might change my mind and like put something on there. I'm good at changing my mind. Let's just. Oh, that's a little much. Grab a little foam tape. Grab a little more foam tape. You can never have enough foam tape. That's probably fine. Oh, I thought of you, Delete. I was looking at I found a card that would be a perfect craft roulette card, and then was looking at craft roulette and realized I had already made it as a craft roulette card. So it would be perfect for these parameters, but it would also have been perfect for the thing it was made for. What I think I'm going to do is try to get the part that has no foam tape over that tab so that the foam tape is basically a single layer, which works great because this is, a circle. So you don't even have to worry about what side is up. We do have a lot of space here. We could do some kind of sentiment, but I think this looks really cool, actually, like as a flat card. But I do want something. So let's look in our Christmas area. Oh, here we go. I think this would size pretty well. Joyful Thoughts this season, but like, I don't know, in light green or something. Probably in a green because that's a green. I think that'll look pretty good. It's sort of a blue green neutral. Well, I absolutely hate stamping on finished cards, but if we screw it up, we can just, stamp on a layering piece and then go from there. But let's just make sure I don't do it upside down because that would make me kind of cranky. I want to offset a little bit because the Christmas is a little offset. Maybe, just do it kind of like that. No, I don't. I like it centered, even though our little other piece isn't centered. I think that'll look good. Do I have ink? I do, but there we go. Let's see. We could do Nocturne. We could do Deck the Halls would be nice. I think this will be like this color. I think that works with our. It's technically not the same color. To be very careful to not cause it mush the stamp. Well, that's pretty great. Okay. I don't know. Do we want to attempt a second stamping? There we go. That's a little better. Okay. I'm not mad at that. And this is the stamp set we were playing with. I don't know. It seems like only moments ago, but I think it was a couple weeks ago when that cool bird paper pumpkin came out. Because the stamp set has a really cute bird that you could technically color to be a bunch of different birds because it's not really an actual bird. I don't know if that made sense, but like it's not actually a like correctly drawn bird. It's sort of somewhere between a chickadee and a cardinal and a jay. So, you know. But we did use all of our things, so I'm happy about that. Our ornament didn't fall apart, and I'm happy about that. I think Lala is correct, and I do think I want to. I'm pretty sure I have gold floss. I also have like an absolute ton of Christmas ribbon I need to pull out because I think I have some cord in the Christmas ribbons that would be fun for these. But anyway, this is the die. These were the dies we were playing with. We'll save that for another day. This is the ornament, and then this is making a flat card with the extras. This piece basically you can like stick in between two layers. Like you can put it back in sort of, you know, close to the center of the ornament, and then you can just glue it in. So essentially this piece could like hang off the ornament if you did it kind of like that, except better. You know, when you're closing it, you could put it in and then there we go. That's how it's supposed to look. So then you'd have your greenery at the bottom. Anyway, that is day one. I am pretty happy with how this came out, actually. Because, like, I don't know. I would buy this at a craft fair, and if I would buy it at a craft fair, other people probably would too. Um, I do think I'm going to put one little dot of glue in here and give I think that will help us with this knot that is semi-problematic, but that's all right. I'm just going to pinch this a little bit whilst I am gluing it. There we go. And then separate the parts I didn't want glued. That's good. Okay. And you can fluff this. And allegedly, these make really good cat toys if you are into that, because the cats like to paw the balls a lot. Anyway, have a ball, we have a card, and I think we are done for today. I'm going to be on early tomorrow, opening day 2, and then I'm going to be on for our normal Sunday live streams. And my friend Elizabeth will be joining us, and we'll be doing some sort of holiday something with, I think she said she had some fun little wood ornaments as an idea. So anyway, and I want to try making one of these and spraying it as well. It would be fun. I should look for. I'll look for my floss too, because this is a pretty thick string, so I think this would be easier to string beads with a less thick string. Anyway, I will stop rambling, and it was good to chat with you guys. As always, if you have thoughts and comments and whatnot, feel free to leave them around. Oh, I'm live tomorrow at 9 a.m. my time, which is at night your time, Lala, if my math is working out in my brain. But not like super at night. Because I run into because that's I run into your crafty lies every so often. Friday at 8 p.m. Oh, is that when you're live, Delise? Oh, that's when you're live. Okay, never mind. I was like, I'm not live that time of day. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, because I'm doing a series, I'm sure I'm going to run into somebody's lives, but I tried to schedule them not intentionally on top of other people's lives, but we'll see. We'll do the best that we can. Anyway, it was great to chit chat with you guys. I will see you tomorrow. We will be making probably an ornament. Basically, this whole Advent series is all ornaments, so we'll probably be making a cool 3D something or another. They're all on the calendar, so feel free to look at them there if you need anything. Oh, okay, cool. That sounds fun. I will definitely check you out as well. Anyway, great talking to you guys. I will see you later and have a fantastic rest of your day.